live. So I'll just find the link. Videos. Takes a few seconds to come through.
Yeah, I can see us on YouTube.
Yeah, I got it. Cool. Copy. Paste. Done. I'll just tag myself so I can repost it as well. Done. So what did you think of that 109 session?
Oh, it was really entertaining.
Yeah.
Probably the most entertaining group of the competition, actually.
Yeah, for sure. I'd agree with that.
Anyways, lots of twists and turns, and obviously always nice to see world records being broken.
Yeah. Yeah, it did kind of have everything. World records in the snatch and total. I also love the fact that now there are 3 world records all held by different people, which just shows like how close it is. And then also the fact that the one person who didn't set a world record, I think, is still probably my pick for Tokyo, because Akbar Jurayev is still, Nurdinov's not going to be there. Yangzhe can't beat him, and Martirosyan doesn't look in great shape. So it's just such an intense one. I thought that the press out call on Yangzhe was really harsh, considering that they then gave Keir Gadami his 223 when he did that pull to knee plus clean and jerk. Like that was just as pressy as Yangzhe's clean and jerk, I thought.
It was the fact that they actually took quite a long time to look at the press out call as well. The jury actually spent time considering it, and still came to that conclusion. It did seem like a very harsh one, and I suppose that was one thing, and then the other thing that kind of was a little bit of a downer on the group was just the injury for the Korean, Hyuk Seo. Obviously quite a nasty injury for him, so hopefully he's going to recover from that.
Yeah, definitely. So this 87 kilo category, the 2 Chinese lifters, I think, are clearly the 2 that are going to probably run away with it. Wang Zuyu, who's, I guess they've both been around for a while, but she's a little bit more recent. And then Kang Wei, who's sort of often known for having the best technique in all of weightlifting. I don't think she does, but I can see why people think it. She's certainly up there. And she has one of the greatest Sinclairs of all time from Almaty, I think it was. Actually, no, it might have been Asian Championships 2014. Was it Incheon? Is Incheon?
Yeah, she hit 291 in 2014, which I would imagine is probably her best Sinclair.
I think that was Asian Champs, not Worlds.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So
there she is.
It could be a good battle, because obviously she has hit the highest total out of the 2 Chinese lifters, but that was quite a long time ago. She's a little bit older as well. She's 3 years older, so potentially the younger lifter might have more potential to add more onto her best today.
And then this Kazakh lifter, Raushan, I've followed for quite a long time. She was in Switzerland for that competition I was at last year. Not lifting anywhere near the weights that some of these top athletes are, but I think she's improved quite a lot over the last 18 months since we properly saw her last.
Yeah, I don't have very many results for her internationally.
No.
I think she's done some World Cup, couple of World Cup competitions, maybe a Grand Prix. Best snatch I have for her is 108 and 117 clean and jerk, but we have seen some big improvements from some of the lifters from Kazakhstan, so it's quite possible that we'll see her doing more than that here.
Jabarova is probably going to perform well. She moves great, and also everyone from Uzbekistan has done well this competition. Mami Shimamoto also.
So you were mentioning the other day that Uzbekistan have a kind of a new coaching setup. Fairly recently.
Yeah, so they got Ilya's ex-coach has now moved to Uzbekistan, and he's their coach. So he's apparently, this is what Sergey was saying, that he's even, looking at Nuradinov, who we just saw set a world record, and saying his clean and jerk technique's not good enough and we've got to improve it. So he's like really, really keen on perfection.
Yeah.
And there's Wang Zuyu.
Certainly the younger Uzbek lifters are all moving really, really well. Quite a few of them seem like they might have come to this competition just to kind of get lots of lifts in. They've kind of looked like they're lifting reasonably comfortable weights, but then others have really gone for it and put some really big numbers up.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things I like about Wang Zuyu, who we'll see when she comes out, is that she has, in my opinion, the biggest pull in weightlifting. Like, she catches things higher than, like, maybe even it's more impressive than Shizi Yong. She's absolutely ridiculous in how she lifts the weights.
So there's somebody asking in the chat here, how were the last two sessions? So the 109s...
What the 102s lack, the 102s made up, basically.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, 102s, obviously Seb was a little bit disappointed because a friend of his, Mezzo, kind of underperformed from what we were maybe expecting from him. And 102 being a non-Olympic category, you never expect it to be the highest of standards. But 109s, I would firmly recommend that anybody that wants to goes back and watches that session back, because it really was very entertaining.
Yeah, I've just put the scoreboard up for the 102s if you want to take a quick look at it, Brian. It was really nice to see the Iranian Motamedi take the gold, just because, like Dan said, sometimes it is nice to see the underdog. And also, it was just a pleasure watching the two young Kazakh lifters, 17-year-old Bek Balat, who went 6 to 6, and then Artyom Antropov, who's just, I don't see how, as long as he remains in the sport, I don't see how he won't one day be a world champion. He's just freakishly strong.
Yeah.
And then 109s, I'll pull that up for you guys now to take a look at. It was quite the session. There we are.
It was a big session for a start, 10 lifters in it, which has been unusual for this competition.
No 6 for 6s. But here's essentially what happened. 2016 Olympic champion gets banned, comes back, snatches 188. His younger teammate outlifts him with 194. Then Yang Zhe outlifts all of them with a world record at 200. Yang Zhe makes 215 in the clean and jerk, gets called contentiously for 222 press out and can't make it on his third. Akbar Jurayev then jumps all the way to 234 to take the lead, and Razan Nuruddinov comes out, sets a new world record in the clean and jerk at 241. So just 2 new world records, fantastic competition.
Okay, so we've got the first lift of the women's 87 just about to go up.
Easy.
Boyan Baya Baturgil from Mongolia.
77 kilos.
Nice.
And we know nothing about this lifter.
Yeah.
At all.
I really struggled to find anything about her.
We know that she's 22. She's Mongolian. And she lifts in the 87 kilo category. That's all we know.
That was a nice opener for her, though.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to see 3 attempts in a row.
I would think so,
from this lifter. Orenbeya. All the other women lift over 100 kilos, so I doubt we'll see anyone come out below maybe 98 kilos. But even there, it might be that we jump straight up to 100 after this. Yeah. After these 3.
I assume there must not have been a B category in this group, because otherwise I'd imagine she wouldn't have made it into the A group.
Yeah.
So Brian's asking, once all the competitions are done, will you have some good predictions for the Olympics? So we will have some predictions. The only potential wild card is that the IWF are still thinking about making changes to the qualification system. Mainly, I think, to accommodate lifters, for example, those in Oceania that haven't been able to do a competition in this new third qualifying period. So there's talk of allowing them to use an average of previous results and so on. But to a large extent, we'll probably know who's going to be going.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. There'll be the odd country who, they select different athletes to whom we imagine they will, which will change things a little bit. But basically, we'll have a pretty good idea. I'll do an episode maybe. That's a miss at 81 from Iron Buyer.
Missed it behind. Didn't look overly heavy for her.
No.
Just swung it round over her head and behind.
Pulled a Mezzo Hasona. Yeah, I'm not sure how best to do the sort of announcing of what's going to happen for the Olympics, because it's going to be too much to do it in one video. I might have to break it up into sort of 81s and below on the men's side, 64 and below on the women's, or 59. So, and then 96 and above, something like that. So 2 on the men's side, 2 on the women's side. Or I could do it by country. Or could do it by just actually go through the Olympic categories and say who's going to be where.
There's so many ways to divide it down, isn't there? Because continent also makes sense because of the continental slots.
Yeah. I just don't want to make it dry, by going into every single person. But
yeah. I mean, I think it would be worth doing a specific look at the Chinese selections, for example, because we know that they've got some big decisions to make. Mm-hmm. Right, third attempt here for the Mongolian lifter, taking 81 again.
81 kilos, third attempt. She had 2 minutes on the clock. She's come out after about 50 seconds. Misses it in front. She'll be disappointed. So we've got a good question. Is Wang Zuyu confirmed, or can Kang Yue still go to the Olympics? So Wang Zuyu has the most Roby points in that weight category, and by far the highest total at 281 kilos. Kang Yue's hit 268. Obviously in the past she's been a better lifter, but she's just not at the moment. So China could turn down the spot that IWF offer Wang Zuyu so that it's then offered to Kang Yue, but they shouldn't do it because they could do it and Kang Yue would still probably win, but Wang Zuyu is certain to win. So that's probably it.
Yeah, so the way that the system works is that they can turn down the slot for the higher ranked lifter, and then the slot gets offered to the next lifter down in the rankings. And obviously that's fine if the next lifter down in the rankings is a Chinese lifter. Mm-hmm. But if they decline a slot for a Chinese lifter and the next lifter down in the rankings is not Chinese, then they don't automatically get to keep the slot just because they had the higher ranked lifter.
Okay, so now we have Anuradha from India. We also have basically no information on this lifter either. So these two we know nothing about. All the others we do. Let's say, that's a shame. 91 behind 200 pounds, missed on the opener.
So as far as I got with trying to do some research on this lifter is that I think she has competed at the Commonwealth Championships, but the Commonwealth Federation being what it is, finding results from old Commonwealth Championships, it's really difficult.
Yeah. That's actually quite a nice lift.
Yeah.
Just couldn't hold on.
Yeah, just couldn't get her balance at the bottom, could she? Ended up dumping it.
What happened to the live stream you did yesterday with Owen and Zach this morning, 102? I missed them. The live streams themselves, just because as a full video, these 2-hour sessions, they're not great to just have on YouTube because they don't get as many views in total, and so they're not great for the algorithm. So they all get put on unlisted and they all go up onto Patreon as a perk for the Weightlifting House patrons. So you can either catch them all live like you are now, or watch the highlights that we're putting with the lifts, and we'll add more and more of those over time. Or if you want to actually sit back and watch them all, it's the Weightlifting House Patreon, which is $4 a month. And there's tens and tens of videos that are unreleased and over 100 podcasts and just tons of stuff.
Okay, here comes Anuradha for a second attempt at this 91.
That's much better.
That's much better.
That's a really nice lift. Love it.
Yeah, she looks like she's probably capable of quite a bit more, so that miss on the opener was probably a bit of an aberration for her.
Yeah. Oh, but one other thing about these live streams, when we do them for the Olympics, because they'll be much higher quality, we'll hopefully have a few of us in person with a proper camera. We will leave those all up on YouTube. So when the proper commentary comes in for the Olympics, that's not going to be put anywhere else. So we'll keep those ones up for sure.
Okay, so next up, it looks like it's Mami Shimamoto from Japan.
Snatched 113 back in 2014, you said earlier, which is crazy.
Yeah, so I'm really rooting for her to hit new bests here and have
it's not
that kind
happening,
of
Dan.
break between best lifts.
Surely not. It's possible. She's 33, so she's by far the oldest lifter here. Let's see if
what do you think of the performance so far of the Japanese team? Obviously, they've got a home Olympics to look forward to, hopefully in a few months' time.
Yeah, pretty good. There have been a few performances that have been surprisingly good, like I think it was the 89s, blanking the name of the lifter who came out and hit 207. That was fantastic. A few underperformances as well. They're going to send a full team to Tokyo at the end of the day, 4 men, 4 women, and I'm sure they'll do pretty decently.
Yeah,
they always move nicely.
They get 3 men and 3 women automatically with host slots anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, they can obviously qualify the 4th one by somebody ranking highly enough. So they will have a full team there.
So Mami Shimamoto, who's coming out now, hasn't totaled yet in the 3rd qualifying period. So She does actually need this, but she's also the sort of lifter who only gets in the 400s for Roby points, so she's not likely to qualify realistically. Oh, wow. 95, great depth.
Yeah. She will need a total here, though, if they're going to use one of their host country slots for her. She'll need a qualifying 3B total to be eligible, because the way that the host country slots work is that they don't have to rank in the Roby rankings, but they still have to do a minimum number of competitions obviously for anti-doping purposes.
But then, because it's still a 4-person minimum, isn't it, from the men's and the women's side, it's still unlikely that she would be.
Yeah, so they can only qualify for 4 men, 4 women, just the same as everybody else. So yeah, they've probably got 4 better choices on the women's side.
Apparently, it's the Pan Am Supers at this time as well. Is that true?
Yeah, they are overlapping a little bit. Yes, yesterday Matty Rogers was lifting as we were finishing the Asian commentary.
Yeah, we pulled it up at the end.
That's unfortunate for her 3rd lift, the Indian lifter.
See, I've got that the Pan Am Supers start at 8 p.m, but I think maybe our calendar is.
Yeah, we might have that slightly wrong. We did have a bit of confusion about the times. I think it might be starting midway through this group.
Yeah, I was going to stay up till 1:30 a.m. to watch the 96 men, and I turned on my laptop at 10:30, and I was pleased to see that they had started.
Yeah, I think we may have got the time zone slightly wrong on some of the groups. But yeah, maybe we'll switch over when this group finishes. We'll switch over and check out what the Pan Am lifters are doing.
We have a Kate Nye or Matty Rogers who's going. They're both going. They're in separate weight categories. 76, 87. Okay, so here is the young Kazakh lifter.
Oh, that's very
exceptionally
solid.
Powerful. Finishes so tall, so much speed off the hips. Very easy.
Fantastic lockout as well there. Absolutely no doubt at all.
We don't happen to know her body weight, do we? Because, and I've thought that when I've seen her in person, I'm surprised that she's an 87.
So Raushan?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. I don't think they put the body weights up on the scoreboard, unfortunately.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's one of the things now that the body weight doesn't matter in terms of deciding the competition. It doesn't get shown nearly as much. So occasionally you'll see it at the beginning of a group, you'll see the weigh-in weights, but whereas in the past it always used to be part of the scoreboard itself.
Right.
You just don't see it as much nowadays.
So one of the interesting things about this category is it's the only Olympic category that doesn't have world records set. No one's been able to beat the world standards. And I think it's probably because there were never women who weighed this much competing in weightlifting, because for so long it was 75 kilo and 75 plus. So you either weighed 74 or you weighed 110. And only suddenly have they got this weight category. So I think there's a mixture between the predictions for the world records were maybe a little bit off, and they set the world standards too high. Ooh, that's a very tough miss. She has exceptional mobility. So yeah, I think they probably set the world records a bit too high. And then also there just hasn't been long for women to be training at this kind of body weight to reach where they would be.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it kind of, as a weight category, it kind of hasn't found its place yet.
It's like if we suddenly had a men's 120 or 125 and the world records were 212, 250, it would just take so long before we saw someone actually build up to that.
Yeah, because the supers are all much heavier and aren't going to drop down to that weight.
Not many of them would. You might get the odd person, but yeah, exactly. Someone saying Harkon, and I've seen so many different body types at 87. Yeah, they just are at this point. People are still trying to work out exactly what the best athlete is at this weight class. And I think you'd see that if there was a 120 category on the men's side, would you just get a 109 would you get Wes Kitts who just gets even bigger, or would you get an Edward Ziazulin who cuts down? Yeah. It's quite difficult to know. Yeah, but there are many athletes who you think would do better in that category if there was one.
Yeah, you do feel for those guys who kind of fall into the lower end of the supers, because potentially they're competing against people that are 50 kilos heavier than they are.
Although some of the best supers make it work. Like obviously Pizarenko's the obvious one and Chigashev, but even guys like Kurlovich, I think was 130-ish. Maybe at a push 135, but when you compare that to Lasher at 176 the other day, he's just a monster compared to them.
Okay, so Shimamoto's going to retake 100 for her third attempt.
So your dream about her setting a new personal record.
I think that might be off the cards, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's 100. Oh, that's an amazing save. I think they'll give it. Yeah, I think that elbow is just she's just so externally rotated in her left arm. Yeah. The elbow's pointed upwards and it just looks a little bit wobbly, but I think it's fine.
2 white lights, 1 red. Centre referee didn't like it, which
makes sense.
It's often the centre referee's the one to give a red if there's a marginal kind of bit of bend in the arm. Yeah, I think that's fine. It didn't look to me like a lockout that then finished. It looked just like that's how her arm locks.
People asking for the full commentaries. Like I said, if we make them public, they don't do well for the YouTube algorithm, which is currently doing good things for Weightlifting House. We want to keep it that way, so they're on the Patreon for now.
Okay, the Kazakh lifter coming out for her second attempt.
Yeah, 108 is her personal record, 2018. Here's 101. That's really nice again.
Yeah.
There we go. She's a Weightlifting House fan as well, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then we'll be supporting her through the rest of this competition now. Yeah, that looked very comfortable. I mean, it's obviously way below her best. She's looking like she's lifting quite within herself. Looks like there's probably more there. At least maybe 103.
So the world standards, 132, 164, 294. So they have to be, am I right, Dan? They have to be broken to set a world record, not matched.
Yes.
So we need to see a 133 and a 165 to see world records. Kang Yue, who has one of the greatest Sinclairs of all time, top 10 women's Sinclair ever back in 2014, she's done 131, 160, but she's not in that type of shape at the moment, we don't think. Wang Zuyu, who is in the best shape, has done 126, 158. So she's 7 kilos off in the snatch and 7 in the clean and jerk. I just think it's going to take more than maybe either of them have to set records in this category.
And unless they're competing against each other, there's not really anybody else who's going to be pushing them to need to go to those kind of numbers. So it would need both of them to be on good form to push each other, I think.
We also haven't seen world records in the lighter 81 kilo category. So there's this gap of no world records in the 81s and the 87s. And the 81s is maybe excused by the fact that it's not an Olympic category, so the talent isn't there. But even when you look at those records, 127, 158, they're so far ahead of anything. And Owen had an interesting point earlier because we were looking at the 102s, thinking about whether Meza could get some world records. 231, but 191 snatch, you just sort of think, are these... If we change the world records to try and reduce the amount of drug use in sport, in weightlifting, I'm sure these world standards are certainly encouraging that people get back to the levels that they were at originally. Do you know what I mean? Like a 191 snatch at 102, as like you can't even set a world record until you surpass that. It just seems like they went too heavy on some of them.
Yeah.
Is 103? Yeah. Oh, really? Wow. I seriously thought she had that.
Yeah.
Held it for a split second.
I think she thought she had it as well.
Yeah.
I can understand why they had to set the world standards, because it would be kind of ridiculous if you had no stands at all, and for the first kind of 6 months, everyone was breaking world records. But I wonder whether they should have just gone back to like the previous year's results and set them based on the best lifts from the previous year, so that at least there was going to be a chance of people breaking them relatively quickly. Because as it stands, we could go through the whole of this cycle with these weight categories until they change them again, and some of the categories will have no world record set in them, which doesn't seem quite right.
No. Okay, so here is Tersonoy Jabarova from Uzbekistan. She's just 19 years of age. A great technician. She's equaling her competition record here. Wow. I don't know if that was no foot or she moved her feet in, but they certainly didn't move out.
No, that was
wonderful lifter.
Very good. Yeah.
105 opener.
As we were saying, that's been typical of the way the Uzbek team have lifted this week.
So we're going to see the big difference between the two Chinese weightlifters who've got their totals in, entry totals in at 270 above everyone else. Kang Yue is sort of perfect in the height that she pulls the bar and where she fixates the bar. There's very little bar drop at all. And then we have Wang Zuyu, who is so powerful, almost like the female Shi Ziyong in how high she pulls the bar. There's a lot of meat in the bar and riding it down. Just two different styles of lifting.
Yeah.
There's Kang Yue in the back now.
It's always interesting when you see lifters with different approaches to it, both getting good results. It shows that weightlifting is not as simple as some people would have you think. There's no one textbook way to get the bar overhead. I'll let you do this name.
Opening attempt for Anksetzeg. Monk Jansen, that's all right. Opening attempt for Monk Jansen.
I'm sure someone in the chat will correct the pronunciation.
Yeah, from Mongolia, 108 kilos. That's a nice lift.
That's a powerful lift, yeah. She looks like she might be the kind of lifter that's got a big clean and jerk in her. What's she done? She's done 138 on the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Best snatch is 115 that I've got. So she's looking like she on third attempt she could well be looking for a best on snatch.
Yeah. Yeah, 112, 116 maybe could be her jumps. Okay, here's the 19-year-old Uzbek youngest lifter in the competition. Second attempt, she made 105. Coming out now for 109.
Yeah. So we've very much got almost 3 competitions happening here, haven't we? We've got a couple of lifters going below 100. Then we've got a couple of lifters around the 110 kind of mark, and then we're going to have the 2 Chinese lifters way above that.
Yeah. It's a battle for gold, and there's a battle for bronze.
Yeah.
Wow. I just love that catch.
Yeah.
Feet really, close, really forward. Yeah, you don't see it often. Not many people can do that. So narrow and so forward with the foot, but she's got the anatomy for it. I'm going to have horrible flashbacks when Kangwei comes out, because you made me, as we mentioned a few days ago, you made me do change play. I was her loader at that British International Championships a couple of years ago. The first time I'd ever done sort of proper loading, and you made me do it, and that was absolutely terrifying.
You did get a great view of the lifting, though, didn't you? The loaders, I did. The loaders do get the best view.
And if you watch the official ATG video of it, this is before like Weightlifting House was really known at all. You can see me through Gregor was filming it, and you can see Kangwei, and behind Kangwei is me with my phone out, just like that, just secretly filming, because I know I'm not supposed to film this international competition from back there, but I thought there's no way I can't. Okay, the Mongolian lifter is coming out for her second attempt.
So I just looked it up, and that 109 from Jabarova was a new best competition snatch for her.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah, she hit 105 in 2019. Yeah. 111 now. So yeah, a nice little battle here between the Mongolian and Jabarova. This to move ahead of Jabarova. Oh, can't quite make it. It's doable, but it's not too close.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a tough make if she gets it on the third. She could well be following herself here as well, because it wouldn't surprise me if Jabarova goes a little bit heavier.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. With the SBD knee sleeves. Yeah. You don't see many weightlifters snatching in those. You see a few more these days clean and jerking, but snatching you don't see quite so often.
Yeah, even the new thinner weightlifting ones are still quite thick when it comes to weightlifting knee sleeves.
Yeah.
And obviously being SBD, extremely tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously we're planning at Weightlifting House to bring out some knee sleeves before too long. We're working on them at the moment, but I think our plan really is to go for 2 styles. One that is stronger than your average Ray-Ban knee sleeve for people who really like the extra support and who actually gain a lot out of a stronger knee sleeve, helping them stand up in the clean. And then one that's going to be a much thinner, keep your knees warm, more, I guess, like the Chinese might wear style knee sleeve. But we'll keep you guys posted on all of that stuff.
Okay, here's the third attempt for the Mongolian lifter then, 111.
Monk Jan San, I should say. 108 make, 111 miss, 111 again. Took a 2-minute clock. Oh, that's a phenomenal lift. Wow.
Good save. Well, we said that it would be a tough make if she makes it.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
She did make it. It was tough.
She just sort of locked it out and then just sunk an extra inch or two. It's like she suddenly sort of anteriorly tilted those hips, just tucked them under and found a little bit of extra room. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's one of those lifts that
posteriorly, sorry.
One of those lifts that to some extent comes down to how much they want it, because she could have easily let that one go. So now, over then going up to 112.
Yeah, this is a nice little battle we have going on.
Yeah, probably the battle for bronze medal.
Yeah. 7 kilo international record for the 19-year-old. just couldn't hold on. She's got such a slow pull, but such a solid looking catch. But she's had this little twist on every single attempt, and it looked like on that third attempt, the twist was too much.
So she's still in the running, I think, for a total medal. She's only 2 kilos back. Mm-hmm. So I think there's all to play for still to get a medal on the clean and jerk and obviously on the total.
So now we have the 2 Chinese lifters with 6 attempts between them going back and forth, and Kang Wei is going to be the first out. Technically, the better lifter historically, but probably the worst of the two at the moment. She snatched 131 back in 2014, but hasn't recently gone over 120 in a little while. Oh, wow. Okay, she's going 118. Wow, this is a big opener. Let's just check. So during the qualifying period, she has snatched 110, 118, 123, 120, and 115. So this is a pretty heavy opener for her. Oh, my word. Elbows buckle.
Yeah.
Not the perfection we're used to from Kang Wei.
No. There's been quite a few lifts at this championships where we've ended up wondering whether lifters have gone too heavy on their opener. There's obviously certain lifters in certain countries where we expect that to happen, but it does seem like this championship there's been even more of them than there normally would be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose there's a certain amount of Kang Wei thinking, I've won a lot for Team China. If I can just prove that at this point, 4 months out from the Olympics, I'm better than Wang Zuyu, maybe they'll select me, even though I've got fewer total points.
Yeah, so kind of like a last roll of the dice.
Mm-hmm. Open heavy, see if she can dislodge the world champion.
Yeah. But now she's in a difficult situation because she's following herself and her opposition has got 3 lifts still in the tank.
Mm-hmm. So Kang Wei back out for her second attempt. Just so jacked. Unbelievable. And bear in mind, when she did that 131, was it 262? She was a 75. Hence, it's one of the best performances ever. Wow.
Oh, that's better.
Just perfection. When she meets that bar, there is zero, there's just no movement. It's just bam.
Yeah. She looks like the kind of lifter that is capable of snatching exactly what she's able to snatch from a strength point of view.
Yeah, you're never going to look at her max out and think, oh, I think you had a few kilos if you changed this, and this. It's just like, it's already perfection. It's like watching the great snatches. That's a great lift. I think she could maybe roll the dice with a 122, maybe a 123. Yeah. She did do 23 at the San Diego Open.
Do you think we'll see Wang come out to open now?
Yes, looks like it. 119, going for the 1 kilo lead. They're definitely playing some games here. Both aware that Olympic spot isn't necessarily focused on or nailed down.
Yeah, I mean, the sensible thing for Wang would be to just win by a kilo on each lift, wouldn't it?
Yeah. At her last competition, she snatched 126 during this third qualifying period at the IWF World Cup. That's a very, very comfortable 119. Should be very happy with that.
Yeah. How do they compare on clean and jerks?
Over this qualifying period, Wang Zuyu has clean and jerked in the 150s all but one occasion, with the most being 158. Kang Wei obviously has clean jerked more in the past, but during qualifying, the most she's done is 150. So on paper, it's Wang Zuyu's game.
Yeah, today. I think if she takes a lead into the clean and jerks, then she's like barring a bomb out. I think she's probably quite safe.
Yeah,
and on the strength of the snatches that we've seen so far, I think she probably is going to do that.
Yeah. So 3 attempts remaining for the snatch portion. 1 for Kang Yue, 2 for Wang Zuyu.
So Wang's getting a little bit of treatment there on her hand. The physio is kind of just giving her fingers a little bit of a shake. Whether she caught that awkwardly, maybe. It looks like she's going to come out for her second attempt. So Kang has decided to go heavier and
go for it. I mean, she might as well. She knows that she's got to do something big if she wants to try and win. So here's Wang Zuyu coming out for her second attempt at 124. Presumably we'll see Kang Yue then at 25 for her third attempt. Big 7-kilo jump. This 124 is just 2 kilos under her personal record that she hit in 2019. Oh, dear. Plenty of height on the pull. Plenty of height. Just leaves it out in front, I suppose.
Have Kang's coaches positioned to
minute her.
To move her up a minute her.
Or is that frowned upon with
I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever seen the Chinese do it to each other in international competition. I mean, I assume at the regional and national competitions in China it must be all fair game. But no, it looks like Kang Wei's going to come out.
So
having seen that miss, it looks like she's now going to come out and take a lift to set a total. 125 she's taking. So Wang must be moving up above 125 then.
Although would she not, if she went to 25, if it's both of their third attempts, would she not go second?
She could take 125 and take it second, but I wouldn't expect her to, because that would leave her in silver medal on the snatch.
Okay, 125 kilos now for Kang Yue. She hasn't lifted this in a few years. This would be a really exciting comeback. 29 years of age. Been competing internationally for a decade. Oh, wow. I don't think they're going to give it.
I'm not sure about that right arm.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful lift. She's tried her best to sell it.
It'll be the first time we're going to see whether this set of referees...
Surely. No, it's a no lift.
Oh, no. And I can't see that being overturned by the jury.
Oh, she looks surprised, but she can't be. She must have felt that. Abolish a press-out rule.
Yeah.
We've got to abolish
Kick out the press-out.
Yeah. Kick out the press-out. Press out the press-out.
So then, Wang has a 1 kilo lead and a lift still remaining. So I imagine the plan here will just be to put some kilos on that lead and give her an easier job on the clean and jerks.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
she's nowhere
really
near any kind of record. Yeah, she's nowhere near any kind of record, so there's no particular number that she's going to be going for here, I don't think.
So Wang Zuyu is a kilo up, but let's see. This could give her quite the lead. She's going for 26. So if she makes it, she'll be 8 kilos up, and she has a much bigger clean and jerk also. This equals her personal record. Wow, there we go. Wonderful lift.
Yeah. Martin in the chat actually just pointed something really interesting out, that Wang stomps one foot but slides the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Watch the replay of this lift, and he's right. The 2 feet do move in a very different way.
Interesting.
Which is very unusual.
Yeah. Interesting. She slides her left and stomps her right.
Yeah.
Whereas Liu Xiaojun doesn't move his right and slides his left.
Mm.
So that's the end of the snatch portion of the women's 87s. In the lead, we have the world champion Wang Zuyu at 126. In second place, it's Kang Liwei at 118. And then we have a nice battle for total bronze, but currently in bronze after the snatch is the Mongolian lifter with 111, followed by Jabarova from Uzbekistan with 109.
I think that's probably the first international medal that Monk Jangsan from Mongolia has picked up.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I'm just going to check.
See if I can find that out.
Oh no! Actually, she got a silver medal at the 2019 Asian Championships. She hit 93.113. Bronze medal on snatch, bronze medal on clean and jerk, but got a silver overall.
Right.
That was as an 81 kilo lifter. And she's got some junior medals to her name as well, so she's got a bit of experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there have been quite a few Mongolian lifters at this championships.
Yeah, they've obviously got a reasonable national setup in Mongolia. I don't know much about what their setup is over there, but they have had good representation at this championships.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, both Chinese lifters have put 150 as their openers. This could change, but right now that's what they have. Look at this bar; it's the collar is just so loose. The plates keep moving.
Yeah, either the loaders are just not quite paying attention, or some competition collars can be very difficult to get really tight.
And again, they're moving. Sergey said that it's these ZKC collars. Their suction's not so good.
So, and also they're the style where you haven't really got the big levers to tighten up the collars with, unlike the weightlifting house competition collars, of course, which have nice big levers to tighten them right up.
That wasn't a setup, by the way. we did not plan that.
But yeah, the style, these ZKC style ones where you've just got the kind of knurled bit that you have to turn them up a bit harder. You've loaded at one kind of
major competition,
big competition. Have you loaded at lots of other competitions?
No, just
you're one of those people that avoids it.
Oh, I avoid it. Yeah, no, I've when I'm lifting, I've lifted with them before, but I've not done proper loading at any other competition other than the British International Open. So
I used to do a lot of loading at competitions, which was why I got my referee's license, so that I wouldn't have to do it anymore. Because if you've got your referee's ticket, you don't generally get asked to do any loading because there's more important things to do. Yeah.
All right. I've just I'm not going to commentate on it because I'm sure there are people who are waiting to watch this after. But I'm just taking a quick look at the Pan Am Supers. They're just coming to the end of their snatch portion now. I'll keep an eye on that as we go. So tomorrow we have the supers on the men's side, supers on the women's side at slightly different times. So worth being aware of those times. I'll just go through them quickly now. We have the women's at 9 a.m. our time, which we're in the UK, which is GMT +1. So that means that the East Coast USA is 4 a.m. and Pacific Standard Time is 1 a.m. If you're in Europe, you'll have to add an hour or two or potentially 3 to that time. And then the Supers starts 2.5 hours after rather than 3 hours after. So if you're expecting it to be at the same time as normal, it's half an hour earlier. So that's 11:30 a.m. UK time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 3:30 a.m. Pacific, and then add a few hours to our 11:30 a.m. time if you're further east within Europe than we are.
Yeah. So obviously the women's supers, Li Wenwen's looking like being an easy victor in that. Doesn't look like there's anybody on the start list that's going to really challenge her. And then in the men's supers, David Ali from Iran, I suppose, is the favourite there.
Yeah, Ali Davoudi.
That's it. Yeah, there's a Syrian, Man Assad.
Yeah, he's great. He's snatched over 200. Yeah, Man Assad's very strong. He's also one of those lifters where if there was a 125 category, he might be able to make the cut.
Yeah, so it looks like that could be an entertaining group.
Yeah, definitely. And they've got, I wonder if Toychev should be there as well. And
let's have a look. Yeah, Toychev is lifting.
And Jangabayev, maybe?
No. So I'll go through it. You've got Davoudi, Ham from Korea, Assad, Toychev, Butt from Pakistan.
Yeah, Nudeski Butt. Yeah, he's great power joker.
And Ishiro Murakami from Japan.
Ishiro Murakami's going to be there. Exciting.
So it's just the 6 lifters in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no B session, so obviously just not many supers have turned up for this competition.
So yes,
as about 3 minutes.
As Harold said, even if Yang's second attempt was successful, Nurudinov's 241 would have beaten it anyway. It's true. Nurudinov's 241 and Jurayev Akbar's lifts, they would have still out-totaled Yang, even if he'd have made that 222.
Yeah. So there was in the chat during that session, there was a few conspiracy theories during the rounds.
I saw your something's razor thing.
Hanlon's razor. And I think it does apply to referees because it would be quite difficult, I think, for anybody to bribe a referee to throw a lift one way or the other. For a start, you don't even know whether there's going to be the opportunity for them to do that. So you might be handing over a chunk of money and not getting any results from it. Yeah. And most of the time when referees make mistakes, it is just a mistake, I think, because
definitely
got to remember that the 3 referees don't get to see any replays.
No.
They literally have to look at the lift in real time, press the button instantly and make their decision. And it's human nature that they are going to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
And then once something goes to the jury, the problem there is that the jury has to be all in agreement in order to overturn a lift.
Yeah.
So it's why it's relatively unusual for the jury to overturn things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know Fernando is competing. He's not come out with his opener yet, but yeah, he is competing.
He'll obviously be talking at Coaches Only in June for us, which will be great.
Coaches Only Conference, June 5th to 6th. We have 8 of the most exceptional coaches, researchers presenting to whoever comes along. And we tend to try and get one elite athlete to come along as well. So it's not just coaches, but there's also one athlete that you can speak to try and work out the journey that the athlete needs to go along with the coach.
I'm really looking forward to hearing Fernando speak because obviously the life of a super heavyweight is a little bit different to other weightlifters. Yeah, for sure. It's a different set of concerns. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from him. Also, Ursula Papandreou, I think it's going to be really interesting to hear her talking about coaching rather than talking about the politics of the IWF, which she's kind of had to get into over the last few years. But I think it'll be really nice to. She's obviously a very experienced coach in that part of her life, so I'm really looking forward to hearing from her. And obviously Bob Tucano as well. I've never
just
heard
a legend.
Bob Tucano speak before, so I'm really looking forward to hearing him speak.
Yeah, Bob is just an absolute legend. Max Ater as well, Greg Everett, Will Fleming, Cyril Martin. It's just an unbelievably stacked lineup.
Yeah, I remember after the first Coaches Only, we said that we were going to really struggle to match the lineup that we had for that first event.
Yeah,
and I really think we've managed to do it for this one. Okay, so it looks like we're just about to get started then on the clean and jerks.
Harold, just because I know that there are people on here who want to watch the supers later, please don't say. I know because I've got it up on my screen, but don't tell people if he makes these lifts, because I think a lot of people want to come and watch this later. It's the supers on the men's side in Pan Am's lifting, and Fernando's just come out for his opener. Okay, so back to the 87s. The Mongolian lifter back out for her opening attempt. What did she snatch? 77. So she's come out in 93. She'll probably do her 3 attempts before anyone else comes out.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't find anything out about this lifter, so I think this must be her first international competition.
Yeah,
just lifting for experience.
That's a nice jerk. Yeah, pretty easy lift, 93 kilos for Oyen Bayer.
Let's hope that the clean jerks go a little bit better than her snatches did. She got her opener and then missed two attempts. So hopefully, I mean, that looked a very solid clean and jerk. Mm-hmm. Looks like there should be more there. So, what do you think the big surprises have been so far from this Asian Championships?
I'm always surprised with every world record we get. So the 169 from Shi was great. The 174 and 175 from Liu Jiajun and Li Dayin. The 109s was the best session we've seen for sure. Jurayev Akbar, Razin Nuruddinov, Yang Zhe, all new world records. That was fantastic. Wonderful session. Quoting Chen, obviously, but that's kind of expected. I was surprised to not see Deng Wei. That was a shame. I think it tends to be that often the sessions that you overhype, and I'm at fault to this because I certainly hyped up the 96s more than anyone, tend to turn out to always be a bit of a letdown. I mean, people were sort of heralding this 96 kilo session as though it was going to be, and I'm guilty of this too, as though it was going to be better than the 96s at the Olympics, because we were going to see Sarab and Tian, and we thought we were going to see Rostami, we thought we were going to see Mezzo, and then it turns out it's just 2 of them, and they both underperformed so much. It's, not so good. Okay, here's 96, second attempt for Iron Bayer. Yeah, again, really nice jerk.
Another nice jerk, yeah. She looks like she's probably a bit more comfortable with the clean and jerk than the snatch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my probably biggest surprise from the competition is just the number of records and the number of record attempts, because traditionally, a few months out from the Olympics, you wouldn't see very many world record attempts going on.
No, yeah.
Because everyone have their mind on the game. So it's interesting that so many lifters have gone for it. And I wonder whether part of that with the Chinese is the fact that there's still this doubt as to who's going to be selected for their team. So they've, even though they've assured their qualification against everyone else in the world, they still haven't kind of assured their qualification against each other.
Yeah, so inter-country battling. Definitely. So she's going to take another 2-minute clock before she comes out.
Seems like it.
Presumably she'll take 100 kilos.
Yeah, she took a 3 kilo jump between first and second. So
true. Yeah, maybe not.
Might be 99, might be 100.
Yeah, I mean, might be 98 even. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's got 100. I can see 100 on the scoreboard
she has.
In the back of the warm up. Yeah, she's got 100 on the bar.
So what do you think, Dan, to us potentially flying out Zach and Owen to come and do commentary with us?
Yeah, and it'd be a perfect use of the new Weightlifting House HQ.
Yeah, absolutely. We just have to get a nice desk ready, get some good camera setups.
Yeah.
But it could be pretty good. A few people messaged me and said we should try and stream on Twitch, which could work. I think it's probably a better setup. The only issue is, nice clean. Oh, no, she can't get out with it.
Just
she looks happy.
Today. Yeah. I suspect that
77, 96.
I suspect that at least the second clean and jerk was probably a personal best.
Mm-hmm.
So the 100 was a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitch is one of those things like TikTok that I feel like I don't really understand, and we might need to hire some teenagers to explain it to us.
I got a message from Alexander Ogren yesterday who said once again, you've got to get on what's it called, TikTok. I was going to call it TokTik for a second, but and apparently Weightlifting House would weightlifting as just general sporting content would do particularly well on it because it's short. And he did an example. He sort of made a video for us with commentary on how it would work. So maybe I think we should probably look into TikTok. It's probably something we should try and do at some point. His 108, that's going to be a press out, surely.
Oh, she held it.
She did hold it, yeah.
Is that just her natural lockout on the jerk? And if so, has she spoken to the referees about it?
Yeah, 3 white lights. So, okay.
Yeah.
She gets it.
So I think that might just be maybe the extent of her lockout for the jerk. Mm-hmm. So Lav's asking the question, why does a person like this weightlift internationally when they have no chance of winning?
Why
especially from poor countries where flights and such could cost a lot? Do they get a stipend? Serious? Well, I suppose from the UK, we're not really a poor country, but we can talk about being from a country that historically hasn't had a lot of success in weightlifting and has sent a lot of athletes to competitions that they've got no chance of winning. Mm-hmm. And generally, it's just because the athletes want to go and see what they can do on the big stage.
Yeah.
And compete alongside the best. I mean, the excitement of being on the same platform as some of the best lifters in the world is often the ceiling that some of the more average athletes are aiming for.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone from Mongolia is, is poor. So just because she's from a country that isn't as wealthy as, say, the UK, doesn't mean that it's not easy for her to fly out. And also, like, why wouldn't you? If you qualify for an international meet, if I qualified for Commonwealth champs, I'd be there. Like, I would 100%. I would go, even if I was just following myself at the start. Just such a great experience to have. Most of these lifters are going there knowing they're not going to win. So going there with the goal of winning isn't the reason why most of these lifters go, I don't think. It's for their own personal records. It's for their own journey. That's a nice lift. She doesn't look too convinced about it. But 110, 3 white lights for the Kazakh lifter.
And as to how it's funded, it varies around the world from country to country. Obviously, some countries have large state-sponsored programs for sports like weightlifting. Other countries, it's down to the individual lifters to fund it. I'm not sure what the setup is in Mongolia. I know that they have some funding for powerlifting, which is obviously the Paralympic equivalent to weightlifting. I'm not sure what they do in weightlifting.
Here's 110.
Really big pull on that. That looked like there was miles of spare space under the bar.
And a really easy jerk for Anuradha from India. 110 opener to go with a 91 kilo snatch. Yeah, I mean, even the funding in the USA at the moment is enormous for weightlifting. Like, the amount that the athletes can make from stipends and medals is, it was at a point where, even 10 years ago, weightlifters would have to have second jobs and everything. And now the top weightlifters are making thousands a month. It's enough to live on if you're one of the top lifters for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, there's the sponsorship opportunities too.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't compare to some of the professional sports in the USA in terms of the incomes. But yeah, and as I understand it, the USA system is very much a commercial-based system rather than coming directly from government funding.
Although actually, as an IOC sport, there's no sport, sorry, as an Olympic sport, there's no sport in the USA that's an Olympic sport where the athletes earn more than they do in weightlifting.
Oh, really?
Weightlifting is in the top. Like, you just can't go higher, so it's matched all the other ones. And the other Olympic sports, the athletes make more money through commercial deals and sponsorships and and they're smaller federations or whatever that they have. But in terms of what's actually paid for them as a sort of government stipend, weightlifting is at the top.
Oh, right. Great. And USA Weightlifting have done that on the back of kind of commercial ventures, haven't they, with the competitions that they run and sponsorships and so on.
Yeah. Here's 113 for Mami Shimamoto. 5 kilo jump. Well, if they gave her lockout on her first, they'll give her on a second.
They should allow that, really.
It's just how it is. It's how it do. Let's see. Yeah, 3 white lights.
Yeah, we may find that some of these athletes from smaller countries might even have personal sponsorships from businesses in order to go. I've known athletes who have had sponsorships literally from local businesses in the town where they live. Who've contributed money to get them to competitions. Because, for example, if you're a local butcher,
that's a classic
might be quite good for your promo to have a weightlifter that's been to the World Championships or Continental Championships.
We had at the gym that I used to go to and do some coaching at, there was a butcher discount, and the butcher was like a sponsor of the gym, and athletes could go and get money off if they said that they went to that gym. It's nice because then it supports this small local economy whilst helping with the athletes. Here's second attempt for Russian Meshit Kanova from Kazakhstan. 101 snatch. Here's her second attempt at 115 in the clean and jerk.
It's taking a long time to set up. She's waiting for the 30. Maybe she's waiting for the 30-second buzzer.
Yeah. Huge pull. Yeah, wonderful jerk as well.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, pretty solid in the split. Gets that front foot way out. Love to see it. WL coach, weightlifting coach. The Asian Championships is about to end. What do you think will be the Chinese male team at the Olympics? I think it will be Li Fa Bin, Chen Lijun, Shi Ziong, Lu Xiaojun.
Yeah.
Obviously, it could be different to that, but I think that's what they'll pick.
I think Chan Tao just didn't do enough, did he, at this competition to give any confidence that he can bring a gold home. I
wouldn't be totally surprised if Tian Tao retired. Honestly, I hope he doesn't. He's a surprisingly, and I don't mean this in a harsh way, he's almost surprisingly underaccomplished for how amazing he is. Like, he's won the World Championships one time, and he's medaled at the Olympics, which is obviously tremendous. But when you think about him as an athlete and what he's capable of, you feel like he should be no, she's hurt. Something.
I don't think she's going to take any more lifts now.
No, that was a second attempt too. Yeah, she's in pain. But yeah, you assume that Tian Tao is going to be like a 3-time world champion and that sort of thing, but he's surprisingly not in the ranks of the Shis and the Lus and the Liaos of the Chinese male team.
Yeah. Do you think that's just come down to his consistency at the end of the day? Yeah,
and also he's just he's had such tremendous competition. Like that 96 kilo category and the 94s to have had Surab Muradi blocking his path, and then when he was in 85, Okulov was in great shape back then. That was back when Rostami was a savage. Gabriel Sinclair, just a lot of really great lifters in that 85 category that held him down.
It's a packed kind of section of those weights under the old categories and the new categories are absolutely packed, aren't they?
Yeah.
Harold's asking, is it 4 or 5 lifters per country? It's a maximum of 4 men and 4 women per country.
Yeah.
And then obviously some countries have got limitations even lower than that because of anti-doping violations.
Yeah. Yeah, Belarus, for example, has got 1 male and 1 female athlete to send Kazakhstan also, I think, is down to 1.
Yeah, there's several countries that are in that position. I'll just bring the list up now.
So there's Wang Ziyu's at 115, just been loaded in the back room. But Mami Shimamoto is coming out for her third attempt, looking for a 5/6 performance. She went 108, 113. She's now going for 118. Do you think all Chinese male weightlifters will win the gold? If so, who and why? I mean, that's essentially what they're trying to work out. They have lots of male weightlifters who could win gold. It's trying to pick which of the 4 are the most likely to. So probably all of those 4 will. But if someone doesn't... Oh wow. She almost looked like she started letting it go and almost purposefully held on.
Yeah.
That was an odd one.
It's an unusual way to miss a lift.
She absolutely
Normally what you do there is just drop the bar forwards.
Yeah, you just let go. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, so restricted to only 1 male and 1 female lifter in Tokyo. We've got Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Romania, if they're able to go at all.
Yeah.
And Armenia.
I mean, it's the usual suspects, isn't it? It really is. If you were going to pick 4 or 5 countries that were going to be down to just a handful, you'd pick them without even knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, 120 kilos now for Roshan from Kazakhstan. 3 kilo personal record. So she was down 7 kilos on her personal record in the snatch, but she's now 3 kilos over on this attempt. And based on how strong that 115 was, I could see her absolutely smoking this. She's so powerful off the thigh. There we go. Very strong clean. What's she got? Oh, I think she's going to get a press out.
I don't know about that.
I think she's going to get a press out on the right elbow. So. Yeah, it's a no lift. What a shame. What a shame. I don't think she's... Let's check. Is she in a qualifying situation?
Oh, they're challenging it. I don't think they'll get this overturned, but the jury's going to take a look. So we've had a couple of questions from people about the situation of Romania and Colombia for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So the current situation with them is that for the Romanians, the anti-doping cases against the individual athletes have now been finalised, and a recommendation has been made to impose a suspension against Romania. So now it's just a case of... Yeah, by the ITA. So now it's just a question of how quickly the process at the IWF completes. Now, obviously, anything that goes on at the top level of the IWF is probably going to involve Niku Vlad to some extent.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility of some chicanery to try and delay that decision until after the Olympics. It would be a little bit of a scandal if that were to happen. So I suspect that it probably will go through in time in order for them not to participate in the Olympics.
It really ought to.
Colombia are appealing some of their cases of their athletes, so there's a little bit more of a process to happen with Colombia.
I think they're claiming contaminated meat.
Yes, and given what they tested positive for, that there is some logic to that, and there have been Colombian athletes from other sports who have successfully used that defence.
Yeah. Okay, here's a 127 opener for the young Uzbek Jabarova, 19-year-old. Very slow, almost wonky on the pull. Self-corrects once it's past the knee. And that's a nice jerk.
Yeah, I'm not the most confident of lockouts on the... It
was almost like the actual final lockout was fantastic, but it was like she I don't know, she caught it on slightly soft elbows and then just pressed both, but quickly.
I'm not surprised that she got one red light there, put it that way.
Yeah. Martin says, I'll have what they're having. Yeah, I'd have what the Colombians were having too. It sounds like whatever meat they were eating was pretty powerful stuff.
Well, South America has historically had this issue with contaminated meat. I think they do use a lot of hormones in the beef that they rear there.
Yeah, this is true.
So I think she's probably going to need to time the jerk a little bit better if she's going to get white lights on this next attempt.
Mm-hmm. So what are they? They're going. Oh, there's Nat from Hook Grip
Looks like
getting involved. Why is Nat getting involved? Do you see
jury,
that?
Yeah. The jury are taking another look at this. I wouldn't surprise me if they overturn this, because if they're looking at a slow-mo, it does look like there's two movements there to lock it out.
Yeah.
No, obviously I think she should get the lift, because we believe in kicking out the press out. But
the anti-press out press out. No, the anti-press out press out club. I'm the president of.
I just noticed my nephew Ewan has just joined the chat. Hi, Ewan.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Ewan actually recorded an advert for the Weightlifting House hoodie on his YouTube channel.
I think you showed me it.
Ago. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's the first third-party bit of promo that we've had for our clothing range.
So I wonder if Nat, because he films everything in such high speed, he had it there and available in slower and higher definition than the IDBF did, so he went over to say something. Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Maybe they're using Hook Grip for the replays.
Also, can you see bottom right, person in all black filming? That is our media man. That's Django, who's filming for Weightlifting House. And I don't know who else. Who's that to the right? I think I'm not sure.
Looks
going to retake it?
Fury have overturned it, but they're retaking the lift. I wonder
so she gets another first attempt.
Yeah, they're giving her another attempt.
I would go back and check, but I don't want to. I don't want to lose my spot and get out of sync with you. But yeah, I wonder if there was a misload.
Yeah, so under the rules, the only reason in which you'd be granted another attempt would be for a technical issue, like a misloading of the bar.
Can someone in the chat go back and watch it and see if there's a... The only thing I can think is that they either left a green off one side or there wasn't a 2.5 on one side.
Yeah, and it was... Because if it's loaded to a higher weight, the athlete can accept the higher weight and be awarded it. If
so
it's
loaded to a lower weight... he says that the bar was misloaded.
Yeah.
Interesting. And can you... did you see, or did anyone see how it was misloaded? I'd be interested to take a look at that. Okay, well, on this side of the bar, that's definitely 127.
Yeah.
I'm sure the other side is right this time. Oh, it was probably Nat running over saying you missed 2.5.
Yeah.
But you missed the 1. Something like that. That's amazing. You don't see that often. Happened to Ilya in 2011 in Paris. They misloaded the weight and he pressed it out and he got a no lift, which shouldn't have happened, but it did. Here we go. Her second opening attempt in the clean and jerk, 127. That's a nice clean. It's even better than the last. And that's a great lockout.
Great jerk.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, she did very well to make that previous one then, considering it was...
Well, they left out 2.5.
Two sides. Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's amazing how sensitive you are to feeling that. Like, you know, I can pull a weight off that's lacking a 1 on one side and you can totally feel it. So I'm sure she felt it and just thought, well, I can't put it down now.
Yeah, well, that's good mental strength on her part to come back out and actually smoke that like she did, because it's a difficult situation that when you made a lift. I've had it happen to people I've been coaching in small competitions where there's been an error and they've had to go out and retake a lift, and it is quite difficult for the lifter.
I think it helps, you know, the fact that she's 19. She's so young. I think that does make a difference. You're just not phased at that age. You do what your coaches tell you to, and, you know, so she handled that very well.
So I think she's now going to take 132 following herself.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel it a lot in the pulls. I mean, I've snatched and clean and jerked every day for nearly a decade, except for the last year. And if it's off by a kilo or 2 kilos on one side, it's instantly noticeable. If it were Rastami, we'd be hearing a nice rant right now. Yeah, he'd definitely be having a rant. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he'd definitely be calling it a conspiracy. And if this happened to someone on there, a more elite lifter, I'm sure the comments would be full of conspiracy. But as soon as it happens to a lifter who's, well, I suppose she is fighting for a bronze, but you don't hear it quite as much.
Yeah. Yeah, Rastami's little speech yesterday was quite interesting, wasn't it? Just because it showed that he still doesn't understand the Olympic qualification system. And we've been saying this for about the last year and a half, that he really needed to get his head around it.
So what he said was, I'm just pulling up what you sent to me, Dan. He said, I have a lot of stress that I cannot make a good result. Because is Switzerland, I made a good competition. I made test doping. I do everything, and they not give me a point. So that's not true. He didn't actually enter the competition, so that's why he didn't get the points.
Okay, so here's Jabarova then for 132.
On her second attempt. Tough, though, because this is her third heavy clean and jerk in a row now, and it's only going to count as a second. 5 kilo jump. So slow on the pull. Oh, my
Very
word.
slow pull.
No, it's too much.
No.
She had to drop it. Rastami then said, then I need to 6 months not eat anything for my weight, body going down to try to get a point for Olympic. That is not good weight for me. He says, having previously been an 85. But yeah, it just doesn't work like that with a qualifying point. So he definitely doesn't truly get how it works. Or he does, and he's still just blaming people, which I wonder if that's actually the case. I've defended him for a long time, but I think at some point he has to take the responsibility for having not qualified.
Yeah.
It's not like the Olympic champion couldn't have asked someone to really explain it. And I know a lot of people who have personally explained it to him.
There was actually a story, I think it was Nat from Hook Grip.
He'd done it. He's won.
He literally sat next to Rastami on a plane and talked him through the system, because at that point Rastami still didn't understand it.
Yeah, Ursula's done the same thing. Where the hell are his coaches? That's their job. He has removed himself from the Iranian team and accepts no help. So it really isn't the Iranian coach's fault. I've seen him try to help him and he won't accept it. So, yeah.
I mean, it seems like a lot of his training has been him in the wilderness on his own with literally no one around. So apart from maybe whoever's filming him. Why do you think Jabarova took a 6 kilo jump there after that 127 opener?
5 kilo? She went to 132, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, a 5 kilo jump. Yeah, why do you think she took that 5 kilo jump? Because 132 looked really heavy.
The thing is, she's sort of notorious and known. She almost became a bit of a meme at one point for this pull that you just can't believe could be a real pull, and then she gets under it. I think just past the knee, when her lower back is at its most disadvantaged position, she's remarkably slow, but then she'll still make the lift somehow.
Yeah.
Let's watch this. 132, her final attempt. I think you'll be amazed at it. Like the bar speed slows down so much past the knee, it very much looks like she almost pauses it.
Yeah. So I've had lifters do slow pulls as a training exercise.
As an exercise, yeah.
And this looks very much like that.
This is almost like not even a slow pull as much as it is a paused pull. Just above the knee, she pauses. Oh, that was actually a lot better. There we go. 132. She cleans it and she jerks it. Wonderful lift.
Well done.
She'll be thrilled. 109 at 132. Maybe the battle for bronze isn't really going to be there because the Mongolian lifter hasn't actually come out yet. So and out-snatched Jabarova as well. So all she has to do is come out and hit her opener, and she'll certainly take a total in the medal. A medal in the total, sorry.
Well, I'm assuming we're not going to see the Indian lifter again now. She looked like she was hurt after that 115 attempt. Kind of got it ankle high and then dropped it.
Okay, I'm going to make the 109 session available for the next couple of hours because too many people have asked for it. Normally I keep it up for a few hours in case people are late to watch it. I will do that right now.
Okay, here's Mukjang Sang from Mongolia. So, yeah, she's got a lead after the snatch in terms of the bronze medal. So she just needs to make this opener, and and she'll be taking a bronze medal home.
Okay, 136. How does this rank to her best, did we say? 138 is her best, so 2 kilos under. She did that in 2016, presumably in Rio. Not the greatest of bounces, but she does catch the first bounce. Puts it... Oh, dear. Okay. Not as simple as we thought it might be for her. Didn't time that jerk so nicely. That's 3 reds on 136.
So the Uzbek team might now be thinking that there is a possibility of a medal here.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
I think most likely she gets this now, though. And she's got two more attempts. I think most likely she gets it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like I can record this straight to Twitch as well. So maybe we should do a practice run at some point before the Olympics and then give it a go and see what works out best.
Yeah.
Maybe we just do both.
Makes sense. So she's going to follow herself now. At least once, probably twice.
Doing everything she can to stay warm. She's got about 3 jackets covering her.
So what was it, 150 that the 2 Chinese lifters had written in for the
150
at the beginning of the session? That obviously might change, but
yeah,
we definitely expect that Mukjang Sang will take two lifts following herself now before the Chinese lifters come out.
I think that probably Wang Zuyu, because she's got such a big lead now going into the clean and jerk, and she's a better clean and jerker, she'll actually probably open quite light just to seal the deal, save the fact, just get the total in. Presumably she'll guarantee the win, maybe even with an opener, certainly on her second. And then she can go to sleep tonight knowing that China's going to send her to the Olympics.
Yeah. And then the question, I suppose, for Kang will be, how much can she roll the dice to try and upset that?
Yeah, she's going to have to do something quite ridiculous. I also filmed that lift from Kang in Switzerland where she ended up doing the splits in the jerk when she slipped, which is amazing that she could do that.
and not come away with an injury.
Yeah. Strong and mobile throughout all ranges of motion.
Okay, here we go then. 136, second attempt.
It's a stronger pull and a much stronger clean.
Much better clean.
If she doesn't make it now, there we go.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Easy, great lockout, very wide grip for such short arms, almost like a snatch position overhead. Wonderful lift.
She doesn't look very happy with it. I wonder if we'll see 139 now for a new best.
Yeah. What happened to the screen share idea? The thing is, it would be copyright infringement if we just stole the stream from the IWF and put it up. Obviously, there are YouTube channels out there who are just streaming it live, but we just don't want to risk it, basically.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if all of our other YouTube content was taken down because of the live stream.
As far as I understand it, it's 3. You get 3 strikes. So we wouldn't, but even so, I don't want to get a single strike. Zach said he got a strike at one point, and I don't know, it just makes you more worried each time you get one.
Yeah.
The 109 should be, if you take a look, should be there. So they're showing Wang Zuyu, but presumably she's not going to come out yet. It will be the Mongolian. This is tough for the Mongolian lifter to take 3 attempts back to back. You know what? They're keeping her warm and they're covering her in jackets, but she looks like she's trying to make weight. at the moment. She's sweating so much. I can't imagine that she feels good being that. I mean, she must do, otherwise she wouldn't be doing it. You know, they know better than we do, based on what she wants.
Blimey, yeah, she's got
she had so many layers. All right, she's coming out for probably 140, getting a nice quad and calf slap. Get the blood in the legs. Let's see if she can make this. Is she going for 40? I assume she is. Yeah, she is. All right, this is not going to be easy. 3 attempts in less than 6 minutes as a 87 kilo lifter, not a nice thing to have to do. But if she cleans it like she did the last one, I think she can put this overhead.
Yeah, second attempt was certainly better.
Oh dear, that's a tough clean. That's a very tough clean. I don't see this happening.
Come on.
Would love to see it. No. She's had enough. Drops it. She looks exhausted. The doctor runs on just to check, but she's absolutely fine. She was just putting some theatrics. Wonderful.
Still, she'll go home with total bronze and a clean and jerk bronze as well, most likely, assuming no bomb out from either of the Chinese lifters.
Yeah. 3 bronzes is not a bad place to be when you're competing against 2 Chinese weightlifters. 2 Chinese world champions as well.
Yeah, no shame in being best of the rest.
No.
So it looked like it was going to be Wang coming out first of the 2 Chinese, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Yeah.
She's coming out now. Not sure what they've got on. 148.
148.
Now, just watch this pull. This is going to be the one time where she doesn't do it just to spite me, but if she does what she normally does, she could power this. She won't, but she catches it so high and then rides it down. It's incredible. Just such a strong pull off the thigh. Yeah. Crazy. Oh, that's a piece of cake. That's how an opener is supposed to look. And that gives her what does that give her?
274.
274.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a bit about marginal lockouts and referees making difficult decisions and so on, but there's absolutely no doubt in that lockout, is there? Absolutely rock solid. And
that's actually 6 kilos over Kangue's best from the qualifying period. Obviously, in the past, she's done significantly more. She did 281. 291 back in 2014. But Kangue is going to have to pull out an enormous lift to overtake her.
So it's a question from Lav on the chat. Are Oceanic countries part of Asian Championships, or do they have their own? No, the Oceanic Continental Championships is separate, but has actually been postponed until after the Olympics, so won't be part of Olympic qualifying. Yeah, which is one of the reasons why there might be some more changes to the qualification system to cater to those lifters.
Yeah, and then the African Championships have also been postponed, but only until May.
Yeah, so they will be part of qualifying.
Yeah. Okay, so 140, what's on there? 9.
9, yeah.
That's a nice clean, not quite as easy as Wang Zuyu's, but she's got a great jerk. Wonderful lift. Now, it's enough, she looks in pain, it's enough to guarantee the silver in the total. I think she's going to withdraw after this. She doesn't look happy. Lower back, right leg's not bending much. Can't get down the stairs. That's Kangue out, I would have said. Yeah. Leaving 2 attempts for Wang Zuyu.
We've seen a lot of this from the Chinese lifters, haven't we, this week?
They look overworked.
Even when they've been quite successful, they have looked like they're in quite a lot of discomfort.
Yeah. Yeah, is that back leg, that trailing leg.
Do you know anything about what they did last year during all of the cancelled competitions and the lockdowns? Did they train throughout, or did they?
They did train throughout, but they dropped all the way down, and they spent a month doing sprints, like cycling, jumping, throwing, just like extremely unspecific GPP-esque movements just to recover and get some testing in. And then they gradually built back up again.
Right.
So it's not like they haven't had any time away from heavyweights. They have done, but I wonder if, no one could have planned for a quad that lasted for 5 years and a qualifying period that lasted for, what's it been, 30 months instead of 24 months, or instead of 18, it should have been actually.
Yeah, and there was some uncertainty as well, wasn't there, about when these qualifying competitions were going to be held.
Here's 154. Again, pulls it so high. Incredibly powerful lifter, Wang Zuyu. Easy jerk. There we go. I guess the next question is, does she try to get the world record? It's going to take an absurd jump to 165. Probably not likely.
Surprised.
I think the Asian record is 158, so she might take 59 after this to set that record.
No, I think it's 162, the Asian clean and jerk.
Oh, wow. Oh, my word. Looks like Kangaree's going to come out. Oh, please. She can barely walk to the stairs. Oh, my word. Why is she doing this? She's not going to qualify for the Olympics. Like, she's not going to qualify. She can't. She's not going to go to Tokyo. Does she have to do this? Oh, gosh. 155 she's coming out for. She's just testing out an air squat. She can do one. She's screaming.
So the Asian total standard is 289, which wouldn't be completely out of the question.
Okay, here she goes. I can't believe she's taken this attempt. This is absolutely a heroic effort. Oh, she's up with it. 155. Don't do it.
Something doesn't look right
grimacing. Oh, my God. Oh, she is made of some sterner stuff than I am. Absolutely incredible effort. She doesn't make the jerk. Surely she won't come out again for a third attempt. She can barely... Well, she's not even off the platform yet, hobbling to the back as the competition doctor has to help her even to step off the platform.
These stairs are going to be a challenge now.
Yeah.
Surely she won't come out for a third attempt.
I mean, the thing is, she is one of the greatest weightlifters of all time, historically. And I guess the mindset that got her to that level is the mindset that's going to keep her going when maybe she shouldn't at this point. Oh, gosh. She's 29 years of age, so it's possible that she can keep going for Paris. I mean, I don't see her ever quite overtaking Wang Zuyu again, who's younger, but surely it's worth just maintaining her health at this point.
So she's on the clock now.
Yeah, they're both sat there.
Yeah. They're
both looking like they're going to come out.
Not showing any signs of pulling her out. They're massaging her quads, looking like they're preparing.
I don't know if I'd call it a massage, just slapping the hell out of her legs. Maybe if we make the other leg hurt more, then you're not going to feel the pain in the other one. That was the motto that we used to use.
This is some real mental toughness if she comes out to attempt this.
She's coming out. The gold shoes, we had a question about those. They are given to athletes of Lu's caliber. Tian Fujiwan, who was wearing gold-ish shoes, wasn't wearing technically the gold shoes, so that's why he had those. They're not like the proper ones. Okay, 155. She's coming back out. I cannot believe the constitution of this woman. Unbelievable. She's got about 20 seconds on the clock. 155 third attempt. I can't believe that she's gonna. I mean, maybe she is. Who knows? Maybe she can make it.
Even to clean this.
Oh, that's a much better clean.
Yeah.
She could do this. If she does, it's one of the greatest fights. Oh wow. My God. How she collapses to the ground.
Come on, referees. Come on, jury.
Oh, that's a good lift.
Don't take this away. It's got to be a good lift.
Phenomenal. How did she make it? She's still on the ground. She can't get up. The doctors help her up. She's on her feet. That is absolutely heroic.
Best clean of the lot.
Best clean of the lot. Just, I can't get over how impressive this lifter is. She clean and jerked 160 back in 2014 for a personal record in the 75 category. She's fought with injuries. 7 years later, she hits 155 in that kind of agony.
Yeah.
Oof.
There's many, many lifters who, after missing, even after the first attempt, the pain that she was in, there's many lifters who would have just called it a day at that point, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when she was coming out in a second, I said, why is she doing this? Okay, so 160. So what did you say this was? I think
it'll probably be an Asian record. The Asian standard total is... Oh, no, it won't be. It's 289, the Asian standard total, so I don't think this
what
gets
a ridiculously high total. So this 160 is a 2 kilo personal record for Wang Zuyu. Oh, she pulls it so high, I can't even believe it. Here we go. Can she put it overhead? Wonderful lift.
Oh, she can.
So strong in the clean and jerk. Wang Zuyu sweeps golds 126, 160, 286. Kang Yue takes silver. 3 for 6 performance, but the gutsiest performance we've seen at all of the continental championships so far in 2021. 118, 155, 273 total. And then in bronze, from Mongolia, we have Mukhjanstan with 111, 136. Jabarova from Uzbekistan took fourth, 109, 132, 241. Wow, what a session. We've had 3 sessions today. The first was a surprising session in the 102s. I don't think anyone would have assumed Mezzo wouldn't have wiped the floor, but he didn't. The 109's best session of the entire championships, maybe better than any of the European sessions too. And then this certainly was a treat as well in the women's 87s. There's Team China getting a photo. Oh, mask's coming off for the photo. They cut the cameras quick when that happened. Did you see?
Yeah.
And then on Kang Yue's front.
Hopefully her leg will hold together when they take the strapping off.
Oh, gosh. Absolutely heroic. Qualification for the Olympics. Are you guys updating the page after the Asians and Pan Ams are completed? Yes, we will do. I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? Because we scrape data from all over the internet, and we're waiting for official updates. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah. Because of the complication of the system, we can't just plug in the results from these competitions and automatically get all of the right Roby totals for everybody. There's a bit of work that we have to do to take that. We have a software tool that we developed that helps us do that, but even that's not completely automated. But we will do our best to get everything updated so that we can give the most accurate view possible.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I guess that's where we're going to end things. That was the women's 87 kilo session. That was absolutely sensational. We'll make a highlight video out of that and put it up on YouTube, probably go up tomorrow or the day after. We've just got a backlog of videos at the moment. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow for what's the order of it? Is it women's first? Yes, it is. Women's supers, the return of the strongest teenager in the world, Li Wenwen, world record holder in the snatch, clean, jerk and total. That's at 9 a.m. our time. And then 11:30 are the supers on the men's side. Dan, if people want to work out the time, how can they do that?
For the Asian Championships,
we've got a calendar, haven't we?
Yeah. So on our Asian.
That.
Yeah, on our Asian Championships page on our website, we've got the link to our Google Calendar. And if you use the option to add it to your own Google Calendar, it will convert all of the sessions into your time zone. Otherwise, just bear in mind that the sessions on our calendar are all in UK time, which is GMT +1. So you'll need to convert from that. But the easiest way to do it is to add it to your own Google Calendar, and then everything's taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Jack Salina, Seb, check your Insta DMs. Just checked it. Feel free to send me the video and I'll take a look. All right, guys, let's wrap that one up there. Make sure you follow Weightlifting House, all things Weightlifting House. Follow me, Seb Ostrovich. Don't follow Dan because he doesn't want you to follow him. And go grab yourselves a ticket at Coaches Only. You can find it at weightliftinghouse.com. It's the best way to learn about the sport of weightlifting from a coaching perspective. Appreciate you tuning in, and we will catch you all tomorrow for the super heavyweights.
Thanks, everyone.
There we go.